Hi, I'm Brenda, and welcome to Digging Deeper with the North Carolina State Extension Master Gardener Volunteers of Chatham County. And today we're talking about soil testing. Have you ever wondered if the plants in your garden are getting the nutrients they need out of the soil? When you come down and you look at the soil, you can tell what color it is. You can tell if it's got a lot of clay or a lot of sand. You can tell if it's wet or dry. But you can't look at your soil and see what the pH is or how many nutrients are in it available for your plants. So soil testing is a way to figure out how much nutrients are in here and whether or not you need to add a fertilizer or lime to adjust the pH or the nutrients in your soil. Today, I'm going to show you how to do a soil test so that you can submit it to the soil lab. I have a trowel and I have a bucket. And this is a perennial bed here. And so this would be one soil test. There's an herb bed here, and that would be one soil test. There are blueberries over here. That would be one soil test. If I'm going to the lawn, that would be one test. And raised vegetable beds, or a vegetable bed in the ground would be a test. If you have raised ones, each one of those would be a test. And when I say a test, I mean one boxed sample, and I'm going to show you how to do that sample. Beds that have flowers, shrubs, vegetables, trees, you want to dig a hole down 6 to 8 inches. But if it's lawn where there's grass, you want to go down 2 to 4 inches. And the reason for the difference in depth is you want to get to the soil that's around the feeder roots of the plants in that bed. So when you go to do a soil test, you need to get rid of anything that's on top of the soil. So there's mulch here. So I move the mulch back until I get back down to the soil. Then I'm going to take my trowel and I'm going to dig a hole 6 to 8 inches deep. So about the length of my trowel. And then on the side of my hole, I'm going to put my trowel over about 1 inch. And I'm going to take a slice from the top to the bottom of my hole about 1 inch thick. There we go. And I'm going to throw it in my bucket. And then I'm going to do that somewhere between 4 and 10 more times, depending on the size of your bed, because that slice there will tell me what's going on right here. But I want a representative of what's going on in this entire bed, kind of an average. So I'm going to go and make more holes around here and take more slices. When you take your sample, you don't want to just do one here, one here, one here. You want to have it all around the bed. So maybe you do a circle around the bed with a few in the middle. Maybe you do a grid, whatever works for you. Just as long as you're getting a sample from all different parts of the bed. That slice came out nice because you can see the clay. So now that I have it on here, I'm going to mix all this up. I'm going to break apart this clay, and I'm going to make it a nice average mix of what is going on in this bed. And then if there's any rocks, I want to pull those out. Leaves, pieces of paper that was used as mulch. Twigs, and anything that really isn't soil. So the North Carolina Department of Agriculture has these special boxes that you need to use for soil testing. And there's some information that you need to write on this box. You need to put your name, your address, and right here you'll see there's 5 boxes. And for each sample you do, so remember we had one bed here with perennials, an herb bed, blueberries, grass, and if we send all these away and we don't label which one was which, we won't know what results go with what test. So I might call this one flower. And so I might put F-L-O-W-R. So I'll know that that meant flower. It's easier to write on the boxes before you fold them up. It doesn't seem like it wants to stay very well, but that's okay. You don't want to tape this box. You'll see there's a red fill line here. So I want to take my soil without any debris or rocks. Not quite enough. Take out the insects. So I've got it up to about right there. There we go. So you're not quite up to the top, you're about 1 inch off. And then I'm going to close up these flaps. See, it says close 1, close 2, and then you put the hook in the little flap like that. You don't want to wet this soil, you don't want to tape this box, and you don't want to put it in a plastic bag, because when it goes to the soil lab, they're going to take the top off and they're going to put it in an oven and bake it. So all of those things just cause problems. They get thousands of samples. So the easier you can make it on them, the happier they will be. The North Carolina Department of Agriculture has a soil lab in Raleigh, and they will test soil samples for you. You can have soil tested for free from April to November. If you don't live near Raleigh, you can mail this box to the lab, and there's an address here on the side of the box that you can mail it to. You can pick up these boxes at your local extension office. The Extension Master Gardener volunteers of Chatham County offer free delivery once a month to the lab in Raleigh. So if you come and drop off your soil sample, you'll see that there is a schedule that shows when you drop it off and when it will be delivered to the soil lab. And after it reaches the soil lab, it'll take several weeks for you to receive your results. And then in a few weeks, you'll get a report. So if you come, drawer here, and there's 2 folders. One is for homeowners, and one is for commercial growers. So you're going to take a form out of the homeowners folder, and it says homeowners soil sample, North Carolina only. And if you see up here, it says required. So all of the things in red are required. Your name, your address, your email address. That's important because you will get your reports by email. Your phone number in case they have questions, and what county you're in. You can put multiple samples, multiple boxes on one form. You don't have to have a form for every box. That's why it's important to have your name on the box, because your name is on the sheet. Your sample ID number is right here, flower. So in this box I would write F-L-O-W-R. But you'll notice there's a red asterisk here and it says lawn garden code. The reason why it's important to tell the lab what you're growing in this bed is that they treat all these the same and they analyze it. And the recommendations they give you for fertilizer and lime depend on what is growing in that bed. Different types of plants have different needs. So it's important to tell them what you're growing so your recommendations are accurate. The one that fits most closely to what I sampled is a flower garden. I'm going to write 023 for this box. And then if I had another box, say I sampled my lawn, and I might have called it LAWN1, and then I come over here and get the code for lawn, depending on if I have centipede grass or not centipede grass. Depends on which code I would put in for right there. And then when you get this sheet all filled up, you fold it up, and you can either rubber band it to one of the boxes, or you can slip it in the top like this, and then you open this up, you stick it in here. And at the end of the month, the Master Gardener volunteers will take this to Raleigh. And once the lab processes it, they will email you a report. And sometimes these reports can be difficult to understand, so there's a few ways you can get help to help you understand your report. One source is the North Carolina Extension Gardener Handbook. You can get this textbook free online, and this QR code will take you to the textbook, and this QR code will take you to the chapter on soil and soil testing, where there's information on how to interpret your soil test results. But if that doesn't work for you, and you need more individualized help, many extension offices have master gardener volunteers, and they have plant clinics where you can reach out to them and ask them questions about soil test results, about planting in general, and all kinds of things having to do with gardening. So if you live in Chatham County, you can reach out to the plant clinic and we can help you interpret your soil results. So I hope that helps. And join me next time on Digging Deeper.